this the first episode. Cloud is overrated. I want to say a special thank you to Misfits Radio, to the team that's here, for allowing me to interview them for my show, and for my brand, in which we're gonna be pushing other brands and businesses. That's what Cloud is Overrated is about. Is the show that the cloud is overrated, and that we need to be pushing more positivity and just making sure that we're coming together for the culture, not just rap or trap or R&B, but as a whole as a music community. And then therefore we could push the culture and the education of oneself and all of those good things. So I want to let them introduce themselves one at a time. So just in case y'all didn't know, we at Misfits Radio on-site location. If y'all want to get an interview with them, you can follow them on their social media site, and you can make sure that you tap in with them. But let's go around the table and tap in.
Ladies first.
All right. I am Donna, affectionately known as Miss Mix-a-Lot. I am one of the owners of Misfits Radio and TV. The TV was added maybe about 2-3 years ago when we found a platform on Roku. So I just want to put that out there. That's who I am. Who are you?
Slick 316.
That's the comedy right there. I'm trying to tell y'all.
That's it.
And who are you?
My name is DJ Lab. DJ Lab 1202 on Instagram. First of all, let me go back. Mix-a-Lot is CEO of the company. Slick 316 is _316 on social media, is our CSMO, which is our social media officer, chief social media officer, and I am the COO, which is the chief operation officer, and I do program the shows and stuff like that. So they are a little bit more than what they say. They do a little bit more. They do a little bit more than what they trying to portray.
I might be COO.
To be honest with you, they do a lot more than what's going on. Without social media presence, you guys probably wouldn't know of us. So Slick is the one who makes sure that our social media presence is up to par. Donna knows a lot of people, so it's only right that she is the CEO, because she brings a lot of people into the shows, and she's out in the streets meeting people. And since we do have shows just about every day of the week, I am here in the studio most of the time, live streaming our shows, podcasts, making sure they get on the platforms that we have, because we have all the major platforms, but actually all of us, we have about 45 different platforms that we
See, I didn't even know it was all that many.
Yeah, we have about 45 different platforms. A lot of them are not major, but
they're outlets though.
They're outlets.
And that's the part where the cloud is overrated. It's like you never know what outlet is going to give you that firework, that spark.
Right.
It could be the smallest person. I mean, Tupac. That story.
Right.
With the young lady, and she heard a song. She heard the tape. Like, it wasn't the label executives. It was a little girl that heard it. So you never know who could find your music and where they find them at. And with these bigger platforms, they're cool and all that, and we want to say shout out to the bigger platforms as well. But there's a lot of saturation with the bigger platform, and there's a lot of competition with a bigger platform. Then you're competing with these mainstream artists and these millions of streams, whereas a platform like you were just saying, maybe a smaller platform, but you could become a bigger fish on that platform and then jump into another pond, lake, or ocean.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So what made us stick out to you?
Well, okay, so to be honest, my first experience with Misfits Radio, I heard about them, this was a couple years ago, and I never interviewed here. What happened was Miss Megan had a gentleman that she wanted me to vlog here that was doing an interview.
Oh, okay.
And so she had called me and said, Benny, I'm in town, I got this artist, can you vlog him? And I came here to the actual the radio station. This maybe about Yeah, it was before COVID, so it definitely had to be about 3 years ago. So, and I seen how everything was taking place. I've been around for a while, and I've seen a lot of different podcast shows and different people's energy. And when you see people that actually care about the business and they care about the culture and what is being not only pushed on their brand, but how they're portraying the individuals on their brand, that's very important. You know,
I have to agree. We do appreciate you as well, because it's of course out of the norm for us. We're usually the ones doing the interviewing and things of that nature. But just to piggyback on something that DJ Lab said, I do want to implement this. With our radio, just spins do count with us. We're fully functioning internet radio station, and one of the things that DJ Lab did miss out on is that he's the one that puts the music in rotation.
so y'all tap in.
Yeah, exactly, and we do this for free.
Mm-hmm.
We put your music in rotation for free, and that was one of the main things that we focused on when our platform was discovered and being built. That was something that we wanted to offer artists, because we see a lot of artists, we witness a lot of them that have a lot of talent, and they're just not on that mainstream level just yet. So we're the ones that love to give the first interviews. We're the ones that want to help groom you. We're big on artist etiquette. That's one of the things that, and we've been saying it since the beginning. We're big on artist etiquette, and if it's something that we could do to push you along the way, that's something that we tap in on. So we do put your music in rotation. I scout a lot. A lot of people send a lot of music to DJ Lab, but if you go to djlab1202@gmail.com, send us an MP3, we get you in rotation.
I rotate, like, you know, and that's
Have
the
your
important
name
part.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so DJ Lab can just kind of touch bases on that. And this is, and the things that we give artists is not things that they can just use with us. It's to help build them even on other platforms. When you send your music in, it's a certain format that you want to send it in, so you can make sure that you get paid. For one, you want to make sure that your streams are actually being counted and going towards the correct person. So DJ Lab can just kind of put a little spin on what it is that's needed when you send your music in, not only to Misfits Radio and TV, but to other platforms as well.
Right. Yeah, we are actually big on. We don't care about we don't care about if you just interview with us or whatever. We want you guys to actually. We want artists to actually reach out to all these platforms. We want them to do interviews with everybody, because we for one, we're not selfish. For two, exposure is exposure. We don't care where the exposure comes from. Your main goal as an independent artist is to gain that exposure.
Exactly. Yeah.
And with us, when we put the songs in rotation, one of the biggest issues that we have, even though we do it for free and it takes us time, is the name of the artist that's sending us the music. A lot of artists change their names, and the registered name that they have is not the same name that they change it to.
Stay consistent, y'all.
When they send us music, they'll send it in their regular name and not attach the artist name that's registered. So if Rika sends me a song and her actual artist name is Slick 316, and I don't know that, I'm going to put the name of the song, Rika, Love Me a Lot, as the song, because I don't know her artist name.
And you will not get paid.
And you will not get paid for that, because BMI and ASCAP are like, well, who is Rika?
They don't know who you
Right.
are.
Right. So those are, and then another thing is when you send us blind emails and we don't know it, artist name, MP3 is the only format that radio stations are allowed to upload, and we can't do links and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I know some people don't know this, but links are not acceptable. There's nothing we can do with a link, a YouTube link or Apple Music link. There's nothing we can do, because that actually puts more strain on us to try to find the music, trying to see if we can download it and all that.
And it reduces the quality if you do get
Correct.
it.
Right.
Correct.
So that's one thing for us with artists, and we know independent artists, most of them are doing it on their own. They may not have a manager, they may not have someone that tells them these things. So we try to do it as best we can and help them out as much as possible. It's not just about interviews for us, it's about the overall culture of the independent artists themselves. So,
and that's why y'all need to, again, tap in with Misfits Radio, with Miss Mix a Lot, with DJ Lab, because you're getting more out of it than just watching something. You know, you want to be educated as an artist, as an entrepreneur, and walk away with something when you watch somebody's show.
And that's what they do. Honestly, when artists come here, man, I can be honest with you. A lot of times they build relationships. Most of the time, they end up building a better relationship with Slick because she's the one that's on social media. So she's the one that kind of, keeps everything going, and it gets real crazy because they're like, so y'all don't want to manage us? And we're like, look, man, no, we ain't got time. Where, when?
100 people ask us that every day.
Yeah, and we're like, no, Slick can do it.
Right.
And Slick like, no, I definitely can't do it. Now, I can repost you and get you some exposure and tell you some things, but for the most part, man, we want you to leave in our presence. We want you to leave with something. We want you to know that it's enough room for you, for everybody, it's enough room for y'all. So it's no
it's a very
traffic.
big world, y'all.
Yeah,
you
like
that.
You can have some. The thing about it is, it could be a group. It could be a singing group, and each member have their own set of supporters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't call people fans and all of that stuff. We don't even know what that is. We call them supporters because they could choose to show love to anybody in this world, and they're choosing to show love to the individual that they're choosing to show love to. That's support.
And make sure y'all connect with y'all supporters, and I'm gonna start transitioning in my vocabulary.
Absolutely.
From fans to supporters, because that's exactly what it is, and y'all connect them, because a lot of people think that the music video, everyone dropped 50 music videos. It's like, that's cool, but it's the platforms like Misfits Radio that's going to actually connect you with your supporters.
That's right.
So they can see what you got going on and be relatable.
We're that bridge, and we do like to tell artists too, like, once again, we do have the TV because of our Roku station. On our Roku station, we give you an opportunity to put your visuals there. We give you an opportunity, and on our Roku station, we do link your YouTube to that particular video. So that's another avenue that we've opened up for artists. So keep that in mind as well. You have some visuals, hit us up. We'll give you, the instructions, the details, whatever it is that you need to come on board. And we have people that actually tap into our platform.
Yeah, no, they tap in, and I want to try to bring more awareness to what you were saying. Again, why I chose to interview y'all, because people are charging thousands, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for the services that y'all providing for free, and little money if y'all do require any monetary payment for something. And so many people need to be aware of that, because y'all wasting y'all time chasing these different entities that don't have your best interests at heart.
Right.
If someone's not charging you for something, they can't be trying to get but so much out of you. It's like, yo.
Right.
Exactly. And a lot of times, and that's what we spoke about that earlier. A lot of times we do bump into people that have been, misused in this industry. And I always say misused because you want to be usable. Everybody needs to be usable. I need for you to be usable, you usable, me usable. But to misuse someone is totally different.
That's it.
So we bump into people that have been mishandled, misused, and it's awful. But that's not the experience you'll get dealing with us.
And you got to understand that's part of the business.
It is.
You got to learn that it's good and bad.
We're just not on that side of it, man. We actually have a love for what we do. Like, we enjoy music. We enjoy interviewing. We enjoy doing the podcast. It's like it brings something to us, and that's something that could set us aside from other people with the same type of platforms that we have. I always tell people, I don't know who our competition is, because it's the truth. That's not my job to figure out who's in competition with me either, or with us either, because you have to wait. Exactly, and you have to wait until we do something for your next move. That ain't no way to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, we definitely don't mind being some encouragement to somebody that's trying, that's doing what we're doing. But as far as
don't clone me.
Yeah, like we ain't competing.
Don't do that.
Yeah, we ain't competing
source
with you. Like, we're not going to do that. We're going to continue to build our brand, build what we have going on, and you know, and just kind of go from there. I think it lasts longer.
Yeah.
And I think we must make it look easy for a lot of people.
It ain't.
They think
It's
that
not.
It's not.
Now, let me
It's really time consuming.
time.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
real,
it takes
for real.
it takes a lot of dedication and sacrifice too. And I always tell people that, like, when they hit me up and say, well, you know, I want to start a podcast or I want to start this, and I always tell people, you have to keep in mind, it's a lot. It's dedication. It's some sacrifice to go into it. I'm not trying to discourage you from doing it. Not one time. That's not my angle. But I do want to be realistic with you.
Yeah.
You know, like,
It's
this
gonna be
is
some
something
work.
you're going
Like,
to have
don't
to
think
make
it's
some
sweet.
time for.
Like-
I can give you the blueprint all day long, but are you going to make time to mark off or to do with it? Hard work beat talent any day.
Right.
And we found that out from the beginning. People can say a lot of things about us, but they would never say they outworked us.
Right.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
Grind.
I'm gonna be out there in the streets. Lab is gonna be here. Slick is on social media.
Sometimes we go on the street as a
And
group.
exactly, and a lot of
And live
times we
stream
have
events,
to,
you know.
we have to come together.
I've been there. I've seen y'all.
And you know, so yeah, hard work beats talent, man. I tell artists that all the time. Like, you could be the most talented person in the world, but if your work ethic is terrible, guess what?
It's out the door with that.
It's no good.
Label won't
Talent
find
means
out.
nothing.
Everybody, you know, and that's why I tell people, like, you know, not saying it, but it's just a different era, different time. Things move at a different pace, but it's good to have some sort of working foundation in your background where, like, you have put in some sort of work. I don't care if it was a job, community service, something, because in this music business, nothing is going to happen overnight.
Delayed
And
gratification,
you better get
man.
ready for a nice little roller coaster ride.
They don't know that.
But
They think that when they come and they do an interview, we're gonna be famous tomorrow. Or they'll come and then they'll get, let's just say they get 5,000 views. That's their favorite thing. When they get 5,000 views, now they insta famous.
Right.
So
Right.
everything else
And
that
it
happened
takes
before
more
that,
than that.
does not matter.
Right.
We famous now.
What we find a lot of times, and we're not trying to put down independent artists, is, you know, this collective of independentness does not work without the support of all of us. Slick may post stuff, may post your visual, may post, you know, your social media, because that's what she does. She'll post anybody's social media post. We don't charge for it, but we could, because she's up all night posting 100 videos, 100 this, you know, a lot of stuff all the time. And the support of that, I mean, if we post your video or your visual on Westside Misfits or Misfits Radio, and you don't even come and like it, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to comment, you don't have to repost it, but you don't even come and like your own visual.
I think interactions is huge,
Right.
and I think that commenting is something that you would want to do, and and Slick and I have had that conversation too, where a lot of things will change this year as to how we support and do things on social media too, because what is the, like, if the love is not being reciprocated, what are we doing?
And we try to get love. She
that's-
tries
what-
to get love to
what are we
everybody
doing?
because she's up in the middle of the night. So it may be 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and she's posting videos. And when you wake up, your videos all over the place because that's what she does.
And it's people coming and asking, like, who's that? You know, like, oh, Junk, I'm finna tap in with them. Like, we have influence on a lot of things. Like, it just honestly, between our pages alone, I can show you my insights on social media. Like, my page alone is reaching 3 million.
See, y'all
So
ain't even know that.
They-
right
they-
there.
So
they
now
look at
that's
the
my
followers, and
personal
that's not-
page.
that's
not
and,
true.
And
That's not
every post that I put up, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 a year, will not have Misfits Radio on it. And the only reason why I wouldn't have Misfits Radio on it, because it's something about my child or
It's
something
personal.
like that. So, and even then, a lot of times, I'm gonna have something about Misfits Radio on it because we're there supporting one another or supporting what's going on. But every post that I put up is gonna lead you to Misfits Radio and TV every time. Some kind of way, you're gonna see that in the caption.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna
y'all
make
need to
sure.
do more. What she's saying too is, when y'all looking through these Instagrams and these social medias and all of that. So I'm not as young as people think, and so I remember different times and different eras.
Yeah.
And it was a point in time where you didn't have followers, you didn't have
Right.
fans.
Right.
On Instagram and all these social media platforms, who did you know in real life? What did you make shape in real life? So what I find is a lot of these artists, and it's not an age thing, it's a time thing. 'Cause
Right.
you could be, these people's 40, 50, 16, but it's like they're looking at these social media numbers to equate to dollars right away, and to kind of solidify them, and that's not true. And
It's definitely
at all.
not, because I only have 13,000 followers.
You
And
know?
to be perfectly honest, they're all organic. I don't even know where they came from. I appreciate y'all for loving me though, because I post funny stuff, I post real stuff, I post what we're doing here, but yeah, I only have 13,000 followers, and my page is reaching 3.7 million people.
Because and
So-
like you said, that's true. Or it's very important. Organic
Exactly.
followers.
So having all those, having a whole lot of followers, like over 20,000 followers.
Unbought followers.
Yeah, it does honestly, if you're not reaching a certain amount of people or the right type of people, like I have a target audience. Yeah, I want people that's interested in music on my page. I want people that's interested in parenting and helping these young folks on my page. If you contributing to the issues with the youth, I don't want you on. I want you to get offended by the shit I post about helping these youth get to where they need to be in life.
And that's how we get in TikTok jail. And
Yeah,
Facebook
'cause we
jail
gonna keep
and
it 100,
Instagram
like,
jail.
All
That's-
the time. I just commented on a post that you put up on Westside Misfits page, and I was like, I'm willing to bet if these businesses made these kids have adult chaperones coming into these places,
It
I
would
can
be that
assure
bad.
you it would get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know you accountable, and you go up in there and you do something. Then that's how it used to be though. And I'm not trying to
It definitely used to be
make
like
it
that.
like, I don't want it to go back in the day. I don't want to seem like that. But there's just
Man,
certain things that were in place that made
Let
sense.
me tell you something. It's certain things that will not change, man, as long as earth is earthing. And that's morals and values and parenting, honestly.
We need to put that on a shirt, and y'all do not take that. Earth is earthing, okay?
Like,
Earth is
seriously. There are certain things that we cannot drift away from, honestly, as humans. We can't drift away from it because we know what kind of disaster it caused, right?
We seen it.
We see it, so it's like, it makes no sense to continue to drift away from it. Of course, we don't want to live like we're in the 70s. We couldn't even live like we're in the 60s or the 70s now because the way technology is set up. So that's not what we're trying to do, but we do want to instill morals and values in our children because a lot of them are too comfortable with going to hell.
Yeah, and that's
We
that's
got
a long
to-
time, brother.
Man,
you
they-
better figure that one out
Seriously,
now.
and they're not understanding that it's only that dash in between your birth and your death. That dash. That's what we want to make that dash count.
Make it count in the right way.
And doing all of it, like I'm telling you, man, it's a lot to be done. And even before we became Misfits Radio and TV, like I had a nonprofit. Every Sunday we were feeding the hungry and homeless, and DJ Lab and Slick 316 came in with us, like, and it was something that was started by my youngest daughter. For Christmas, she said one Christmas she was like 8. Right after that, we stopped celebrating holidays, and a lot of people was like, "Y'all don't celebrate holidays." I'm like, "Man, look here." When my daughter said to me, only thing she wanted to do was go out there and feed the hungry and homeless, I was like, if she get it, all the rest of them got to get it. Like that, they got to understand that it's bigger than what social media is telling us, and buying it's all good to buy the glamorous gifts and to do all this stuff, but man, we got to make these children
give
earn
back,
something.
too. Yeah.
We got to make them earn something and learn how to give back, because
And we can
honestly,
ask too. I'm sorry, y'all.
oh man, look here.
Shit.
Discipline.
Man.
I'm telling you, like, I promise you, I never really had to whoop my children, and people used to be like, I'm like, man, my children ain't perfect at all. They ain't perfect at all, but I didn't have to really whoop
But
them.
you were probably more of the type of a parent that was able to communicate and talk and show by example what.
Because that's what my mama was. My mama was a communicator.
Uh-huh.
She'd be like, well, what the hell made you do that? Like, the way she communicated, used to throw people off, because they used to be like, so you ain't offended? I'm like, no. But she often allowed us to tell her why we did certain stuff, because you got to understand, A child's mind and a mature mind are two totally different things. But in order to understand how that child made that decision, you need to ask them, like, what made you
Do that.
do that? Like, what
it'll give you a
happened? And most times
perspective.
they'll tell you. And
Might
then
not
you
make
like,
no sense, but at least you know what they would think.
Exactly. And it's a million other children thinking like
Same
them.
thing, like, because I ask, like, now I don't want to call them kids. I just say younger adults and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just say, why did you do that? Because in my mind, from where I'm, the time period that I was raised, that didn't make sense. But now, that makes sense to a massive amount of people.
Yes, because
and
it's
that's
normalized.
not understanding why.
Because it's being normalized. It's allowing a lot of times when it comes down to it, certain things are accepted. Whereas when we were much younger, those things not necessarily weren't accepted, but we could accept it. But if it didn't look a certain way, or if it made other people uncomfortable and stuff like that, we had enough respect not to allow that to happen right then and there. So that's something that we look forward to as a group band, a duo,
Right.
trio, that we look forward to getting out here and allowing these kids to know what goes into podcasting and what goes into engineering and wanting to be a DJ. Like, we want to tap into all of those things, because this is a part of the art. This is creativity that needs to be pulled out of these young people, because most of them have it.
Right.
But they don't know how
Everybody
to
don't have
express
to be a
it.
rapper.
Everybody don't have to be in
Ah.
front of the camera.
Yeah.
So many other jobs that are stable.
It's a
behind
lot
the
of
camera.
money behind the scenes.
I keep it real with
Absolutely.
you. I'm not saying this as a definite thing, but there's many other things that I would have done for 10 years to retire faster.
Mhm.
Man,
I'd
look
have
here.
threw the shit out some trash for 10 years.
Let me
I'd
tell
have
you
done.
something.
Right.
Or drove a mail cart for 10 years and to leave, because we don't understand that, because they don't teach us that if you leave out of high school at 18, if you work for 10 years for this, you fucking 28.
Right.
You
You
couldn't
still
be
got a
doing
whole
that.
nother life to do, a whole nother career.
They tell us to go to school for 4 more years, or this, that, and the third, but that's not the reality. They don't let us know that there's options.
Right. Today is a big deal for us in so many different ways, man. And we thank God for the people that supported us during the times. Because I can be honest with you, we didn't know, and we just shut everything down and was just like, okay, our radio station was going, but we didn't have any podcasts going. Our main concern
I felt
was,
bad.
and the thing about it was, we definitely didn't want her to feel bad about anything that had happened. But we knew in order to keep our mental where it needed to be, we know that we needed to stay prayed up and focused. And honestly, like the time that she was sick, I fasted the whole time. So it was just like, that's what friends who turn into family do. That's, there's just certain things that happen.
And we have a responsibility
Period.
to our podcast. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you
Yeah,
off.
no, you're fine.
That's why another reason we shut it down, we have a responsibility to the people that host our podcast, so they couldn't catch it.
Mhm.
We already felt
We didn't
bad
know-
that Slick had it,
Yeah.
but we didn't know where it came from, and we didn't want no one else to catch
Just
it.
want
So
to make sure that
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
so it
right,
was a
that's
certain,
right.
it was a
Everything
certain
had to be
level.
shut down.
Mhm.
People had to come in and
we
Yeah,
fumigated everything.
did everything.
So we didn't
Because
want to pass it to
we
anyone
honestly
else.
didn't know, and it was a lot. And so now we're in 2023, and to be perfectly honest, man, it's all gas at this point.
Yeah,
like, it's all
2023,
gas.
all gas. The full team is healthy, back in
Mhm.
full effect. So one more time, we just want to make sure that we give them your social medias, and so they can just find you before we go off. It ain't air, but y'all on air. Y'all
That's
on air.
right.
We gonna post it on social media on the platforms
That's
in the
right.
sky.
Right,
Make
right.
sure you
Yeah.
send it to me. My social media once again is I am Miss _ Mix-a-Lot. And of course we have Misfits _ radio _ and _ TV.
Mhm.
And we also have the Westside Misfits page too. What's your social media?
you rolling them up to everything.
Yeah.
What is it? Slick _ 316. And yeah, oh look at Yahoo.
Hey.
I'm off.
Uh,
Slick 316.
Yeah.
Slick
that's it.
_ 316.
That's it.
That's right.
It's on social media.
And once again, she's the one that controls the the platform. So if you hit up on Westside Misfits page, this is who you will be hitting up. most of the time you guys come for me, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
So sorry.
I know Ms. Mix-a-Lot and DJ Lab say we're gonna stop supporting people who don't support us.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
make sure
we
y'all
want that
repost, like,
reciprocation.
share, and do all those
That's
things.
right. Interact, honey.
And where they
Interact.
get to find you at DJ Lab?
I'm at DJ Lab 1202. That's DJ Lab is on all my social medias. I haven't changed it. I want to
He's
say
saying lab. L-A-B.
L-A-B.
Yeah.
DJ Lab L-A-B. I'm sorry.
Like
yeah.
you in the lab cooking.
Right,
Correct,
right,
correct.
right. You know, that's my thing on social media all the ways. I want to say one more other thing. You know, we do this thing. We do it for the love of it. Sometimes for me, like I tell Miss Mix-a-Lot and I tell Slick, you know, I quit this every day. You know, I quit this job every day. This podcast and radio stuff every day. And it's just because sometimes it's difficult. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We can't compete with celebrity. We know this. We can't compete with the millionaires that got, you know,
Not
spaces.
yet, though.
Not yet.
Mm.
We're gonna speak in this. But we quit this every day. And if it wasn't for my team, for me, because I deal with a lot of emotional things. If it wasn't for my team with me, we probably still wouldn't be going. You know, she pushes me to do certain things. She pushes me to do other things. And that's how we try to do it as a collective. You know, we try to support each other as a collective. You know, it's just, it helps us better as a team, especially helps me. Because, like I say, I quit every day.
Yeah.
But I get up again. I quit every day and get up and do it again the next day.
You running right back.
Right. We run it right back. So, you know, we want to continue to do this. We want to continue to make sure that that the creatives have we try to give creatives a voice with volume. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all do a good job,
Right.
a great job.
We try to make sure that's done. Our radio station streams all day, every day, 24/7.
All our podcasts are different.
All our podcasts are different. We don't have podcasts that kind of overlap, you know. But even if we did, we know how to make it different. You know, we've been doing this for almost 7 years, so we know what to tell a podcast when they come in. You know, everybody, like Miss Mix-a-Lot said earlier, everybody wants to do a podcast. Say, I'm going to do a podcast. But once the cameras come on, that microphone's in their face, and you realize you got to talk for an hour, things change, and you got to do this every week. You know,
Right.
I got to think about something to talk about every week. Mm-hmm. So those things, but we help you through it. Miss Mix-a-Lot may call you and say this. Slick always watching them live, so she said, hey, tell him to talk up, or tell him to say this, or tell them to do this. So as you're going
She's
through
the
process,
producer.
right? As she's going through the process, she watches the shows, so she'll know where the hiccups are.
Make sure it goes.
And I'm here. I may not see what they see.
Right.
Or hear what they hear, because if she's not watching it, she's listening to it,
Yeah.
because it's live on the radio all the time. So that's how a collective team works.
I'm answering every time I'm
Right,
live.
right.
So if it's what blind lady love.
Yes.
So y'all make sure
Yeah.
that y'all tap in with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
One, Misfits Radio, TV, all platforms, everything that they're doing as a whole, but individually, make sure you follow and tap in with them for different things that they have going on that may help you, and make sure that you are supporting on the other end as well, and we all are for each other.
That's
and
right.
hopefully this was a dope interview. Cloud is overrated.
Right, crowd is over.
Thank
Oh,
you.
also, y'all need to tap in with Benny Fame.
That's
I
right.
see him on this page doing visuals
Yes.
all the time,
Yes.
doing great pictures. Let's not forget that, because
Appreciate it.
without his visual, his page, and his pictures, nobody will know who you guys are.
That's
And I think a lot of times artists take that for granted. Oh, come shoot my video for $50. No, dude, my camera costs $300.
Yeah,
right.
It costs me gas,
Yeah,
$20 to get gas to come where you at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
Then you want me for $2-3 in a day.
Yeah, bro.
So I see what you be doing. I see how you do it, and I don't think people appreciate that. But we appreciate you coming here, talking to us, giving us your time, giving us your vision, and your vibes and your energy. We appreciate that, because a lot of people don't interview us.
Nah.
We don't care, but we appreciate it.
Yeah. In the words of Frankie Beverly, we are one, and that's how we gonna slide up out of here.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yes. We need to
Take pictures.
take a picture. Yeah.